All right. Hello, everybody, and good evening, and welcome to our third edition of Hoke County Schools Digital Teaching and Learning Family Connect series. I'm Karen Nichols, part of the Digital Teaching and Learning team. I'm here with our lead technician, Brian Ross, to talk to you today about managing your child's school iPad with the JAMF Parent app. We are very excited to have you guys with us tonight to be able to see everything that the JAMF Parent app can do. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm waiting on my slide to switch there for me. There we go. Okay. And so along with Brian and I tonight are the rest of the digital teaching and learning team. They are all out there on the YouTube channel just waiting for your questions. So if you have any problems or questions with the presentation today, please throw those in the chat line and I will either answer them or somebody on my team will be more than happy to assist you there. So please put those questions in the chat line for us today. Okay, so we'll go ahead. And what is the big deal with JAMF Parent? It's all about safety for your kids. We do our best at Hoke County to keep your kids safe online. One of the things that we do, we filter our internet. We provide the kids everything that we can to keep them safe. But now that the devices are at home and they have them 24 hours a day, that has brought about some other issues that may be happening. And so what JAMF Parent does is it actually gives you more control as a parent to monitor what your child is doing online. One thing it will do is it will allow you to limit the amount of screen time they have. The other thing that it will do, it will allow you to limit their internet, whether or not they can be on or off, as well as some other cool features that it has. And we're going to go through those tonight. Okay, and so what exactly can you do? So I've got a list coming up on my next slide. All right, you can actually allow apps that you want your child to use. Now that is not beyond the apps that we have on the device, but let's say you just want them to use a particular app for an amount of time. You can restrict everything else and just lock them into one app. You can restrict the use of the camera if you don't want them to have access to that camera or you don't want them on the internet. You have the ability to turn that on and off. You can set the amount of time that your child is on the iPad. You can schedule times for them to do particular things that will come on every day. You can also see the location of the device. And I know this has been a really interesting thing because we've had quite a few instances where our students actually have misplaced their iPads. So this will actually give you the approximate location of the iPad. So that's pretty exciting. Okay, some things for you to know is that the app is free, doesn't cost anything. And this app is for your personal device. This is not something that we are going to put on the student iPad. This is something for your device that will control the student iPad. And it is an Apple app, actually, and it works on iPhones, iPads, and your Apple Watch. I will tell you ahead of time that if you are going to use your Apple Watch, what it will do is somewhat limited compared to what it will do on an iPhone or an iPad. Tonight, the screenshots and the demonstration that you are going to see is going to come from an iPhone. However, if you are not an Apple user, there is a web app that is available. So if you have an Android or you have a PC at home or you have a tablet that is not Apple, we're going to share information for what you need to do to be able to get your parent account. And then you will be able to do the same things that we're going to show you today. It may format just a tiny bit different, but it will do all the same things. So please follow along with us tonight, knowing that you're going to have that opportunity to get that parent account. All right. So just another few things that I'd like you to note is that you will be able to control the device from 4 p.m. in the evening until 6 a.m. in the morning. Okay. So just starting at 4 o'clock until 6 a.m. That's when this app will work. Teachers are actually learning about JAMF Teacher. You may have a teacher that is using it already. We have just gotten started training our teachers on JAMF Teacher, but it is coming. So teachers will actually control the devices from 6 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon with JAMF Teacher. So you can kind of see how that works. During the school day, teachers are able to do some of the same things you can do. Their controls are a little bit different because their needs are a little bit different, but they'll control during the school day, then you'll have control in the evening. And just to note that the district, we always can take control of the device at any time if we need to. We have the main controls over those. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to get started with the first function. And I am going to talk about it a little bit, and then my coworker Brian is actually going to get on with an iPhone and an iPad and actually demonstrate it for you. So you'll get to see it twice. This is a short session tonight. It's kind of a lot to go through, so no worries. We're going to let you see it 2 different times. And then I'm also going to share with you this slide deck, so you will be able to go back and review it if you need to see these screenshots on what we did to be able to make the app work. So the very first thing you're going to have to do is get the app. And so you're going to go to the App Store, click on that. Then you will search for JAMF Parent. And Brian, if you're listening to me, if you will get your cursor out and point to those things as we go through them, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so you're going to go to the App Store. Then you're going to search for JAMF Parent. Then you are going to get that app. When you do, this is what the app looks like. It's a dark blue parent and child looking app. And again, this is only in the Apple Store. Unfortunately, it is not in Google Play yet. I would imagine that'll be coming before too long. But right now it is an Apple app. Okay, once you tap on your parent app, you will get some permissions that you have to give. Now, let me say this very strongly. This app will not work if you do not accept these permissions. It will not do what it needs to do. So the first one it's going to ask you is Bluetooth permission. It'll give you the options to allow it, don't allow, or okay. You want to make sure you hit okay. Once you do that, go ahead and continue. The next thing it's going to ask you for is location services. You want to make sure that you allow it while you're using the app. Remember that cool thing I said about being able to see where the iPad is? Got to have location services on both devices for that to work. So allow while using the app. Go ahead and do continue. Then finally, notifications. You'll also need to allow that. So once you do all those things, allow, it'll work you right through. And Brian's actually going to show you that live. Once you see that, it's going to prompt you to get started. Once you hit that get started button, it's going to ask you to scan a QR code, and we're going to go through and we're going to show you what that looks like on your child's iPad and how to get there. But you click get started, scan the QR code. Now, again, it's going to ask you a permission if it can use your camera. If you want to be able to scan that QR code, you got to say okay, or it will not be able to scan it. Once you say okay, you're going to see that camera pop on, scan the QR code, and confirm. Now our next slide is, I see my internet is unstable. There we go. Hopefully I didn't sound too robotic just then. Once you get that, this is what your child's device looks like, the student iPad. Now they don't have JAMF Parent, they have an app called JAMF Student. They're going to tap that. When they tap that, you'll see their menu comes up. It's kind of similar to yours, and they have some features there. You're going to go up on the top right, there's a gear, okay, and on that gear, you're going to tap that. And it is going to actually give you, there's a menu there that says Authorize Parent. You're going to tap that, and there's actually an arrow to the right that you tap, not actually the words. Tap that, and when you do, it will pop up that QR code that we were talking about. So we kind of do two screens so you can see what it looked like on both devices. Then you scan that QR and then your menu will actually pop up. Oh, scan the QR code and confirm, and then you'll see your menu and you see locations at the top. And the next one is actually the button that you use the most. We'll talk about that one quite a bit today. That's where you get to your child's information. So now we're going to move on. You get to listen. If you listen to me talk here for a while, go ahead and Brian is going to show you this actually live on an iPad and iPhone.
Okay, we're going to get started here. First things first, I have the student iPad right here. The student app is right here. You just click that. It may show up like that, so you have to scroll all the way down, which is basically, down. You're going to click the gear. You're going to click Authorize Parent. So now I have the QR code. So now I have to do it on the actual parent app. So I have the parent app here. See if you can see that. It looks good. I'm going to click Get Started, and then it's going to ask me for the QR code. Since I've already done this and I've okayed it to accept all my permissions, it's not going to ask me again, but it will come in here and ask me to confirm the student. Once I've confirmed the student, I now have access to the student, which basically is your fake student. And now we should be moving on to the next section, right?
Yeah, we can move on to the next one.
Okay, let me go back.
All right. Now, remember I told you that the app is actually only for Apple devices, but no worries. If you don't have an Apple device, you can still log on using a PC or using an Android phone. It is a little bit, I don't want to say more complicated. I guess it is a little more complicated. But what I need you to do is here's a bit.ly address for you to go to a Google form. And it's just a few short things that I need information to create you a parent account. Fill that out, send it to me, and within a day, you'll have your parent account, and we will actually send a step-by-step instruction guide to log on to that parent account. But it's fairly simple, and like I said, once you get in, what you're seeing us do with the Apple app, you're going to be able to do those same things on your Android phone or on your PC. So I would ask somebody. It is in the instruction. Not the instructions, is in the information about this video below, but I'll also ask if somebody on my team can take a quick look at that bit.ly. If you want to put that in the chat also, it'll be in both places for us so that you'll be able to get that. And as soon as you do that, I'll get that information to you as quick as I can. All right, so we can move on to the next, what it will do. Okay, so I talked a little bit about allowing and restricting apps. So we can go on to the next. And basically what that will do, and a good example of when you might use this would be, let's say that you want your child to read every night for an hour. And that's all you want them to do. You don't want them going on cool math. You don't want them going on the internet. You don't want them doing anything else. You want them to get on epic books, and you want them just to read. So this is a great way to be able to do that. What you would do is, like I said, that very first thing, if Brian will get his pointer out for me, you'll tap on your student, like in that very first menu. So you got to get to that first. Once you get in there, you're going to see a couple of tabs across the top. The one that we're pointing at is your allowed apps. Now you will notice I have X'd out some there at the bottom of that. And the reason I did that is because as a district, these are things that are already disabled. It doesn't matter where you toggle those on or toggle those off. They are not going to be available on your child's iPad because they're not school related. So we already have those toggled off. There's no way for us to change that. But even if you turn them on, they're not going to turn on. Nothing on this app will allow more than our filters already take care of. So that's why I've just got that X'd out. You can just pretend like that's not even there. But you go ahead and you click on Enable App Lock. Okay, so once you click that, it's going to give you a screen, and I've kind of got it divided up there, but this is actually one screen when you're looking at it on your phone. And the first thing you can do is you can choose a time. So let's say you want your child to read for an hour, maybe only 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. You go ahead and select that time. And then before you hit done, you see done up there at the top, you can go choose the apps that you want your child to be in. Now, if you choose one, what'll happen? Like I was saying, the Epic Books, if I just choose Epic Books, what it's going to do, it's going to launch Epic. And Epic is all your child's going to be able to see. It's going to pop up there and they're going to be locked into that app for the amount of time that you chose. If you choose more than one app for them to be locked in, it's going to give them a menu. There we go. Oh, sorry about that. It's going to give them a menu and then they can pick and choose the apps that they want to be in for that hour. So you choose the time, choose the apps, and then you click done at the top of the screen. And then I will show you on the next screen. So what'll happen is you'll see right here, so for our student, you will see that there's 2 apps selected for that student to use. And that's the only thing they will be able to do. Now, you also see disable app lock. So let's say that I wanted them to be on there for an hour, but then 30 minutes in, I decided that we would, I was going to take it off. You can disable those app locks, but in an hour, it's going to disable itself. Okay. So, but that is a choice that you can do that. All right. So, Brian, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can actually show them live how this looks.
Okay, give me 1 second. Gotta move the iPad out of the way. Bring my cell phone up. And switch over. Ah, that's horrible.
It's not too bad.
Okay. So I'm gonna go into my student. Oops. And then I'm gonna click allow apps. None of this is used. We're gonna enable app lock, and I am going to set it into the camera because I know that's the quickest route of showing you exactly what it actually looks like. Well, I don't know. Epic might work too. So let's try Epic. I think because it has a big blue screen. So I'm going to select Epic. I'm not going to select anything else. Hit done. And they have 30 minutes from now. So now, as you see, my iPad has already launched Epic. And it is stuck in Epic. There is no exiting. They can't exit. They can turn the power off. And when they come back to it, it's right back in Epic. So now to get them out, say they get done with a book and you want them to go to a different app, you can either change allowed apps up here and select a different app, or you can just say disable app lock. I'm going to give them full functionality back to their iPad, which takes a couple minutes, maybe. There we go. So now we have full access to everything that they would normally have access to, which, let's see, literacy apps, iStation, even though it's, so they can go into other apps now. And I'm going to go back to the screen because I think this is it.
That's it. All right, awesome. That was so exciting to know that you guys will be able to do that and just really keep your students on track during their homework time. So let's talk a little bit about device functionality. And really and truly, this is kind of similar to some of the other things that we talked about. There's a lot of things that we as a district, we already locked down for students to keep them safe. So really, there's only 2 things to talk about on this one. On the next slide, I'll kind of show you what that screen looks like. You'll see I left the ones green that are already taken care of. Your students already can't use the phone. They can't use FaceTime. They can't go shopping. We have all these things already turned off. But 2 things that they can use the camera and they can go on the internet. Okay. And sometimes we know that that has caused some issues, late at night, you're sleeping and your child's surfing the web, and you're not able to watch what they're doing. So this is really great because you're able to, or maybe even another scenario of that is they're supposed to be doing homework, they're surfing the web, or they're, taking some selfies or doing whatever they're doing. So this is something that you can do that will restrict that to keep them focused, or to just not have them on there. You can toggle Safari or camera on and off. We can go ahead and go to the next screen. Oh, well, I'm gonna just let Brian show you what it does. And it's the same thing. It has a time lock on there as well. All right, Brian, you want to show them the camera, like
Yep.
what that does? That's probably the easiest one when they are wanting to take pictures.
Yep. Give me 1 second.
Or actually, you could toggle both off, I guess.
So I am looking for that. It's device rules, right?
Nope, it's
No.
function, right?
Restrict. Oh yeah, restrict device functionality. I'm sorry. So basically, it's this menu button right here, and if you just want to take away the internet, you can take away Safari, and they still have access to everything else, just not Safari or the camera. So we can take away both of them, and it's basically the same thing as the other one. You just hit enable app lock. You're not going to select, or actually, if you want them to have access to other apps, I guess you would just select the ones you want right now. So Epic, let's say Slide, Student, iStation. Well, iStation's testing. Kids A to Z. Let's give them access to that much and just hit done. And now they're limited to that. They have no capability of doing their camera, which is on the next page, but they do have capabilities of doing every app that's assigned to them. Like if they want to go to Kids A to Z, they can go there, or Epic. I don't know all the apps that are assigned to this complete user, so I just went in and enabled what I thought would be there, but it's not downloaded evidently to this user account. So I'm done showing that part. Gonna go back now.
And so you can see how that definitely can help keep your kids focused, instead of being able to play around or do whatever they can. You can take those things away from them and just put them into the things that you want. Okay, so device rules, and basically what device rules are, it's very similar to the other things that we've been talking about, except it's on a calendar. This is something that you want your child to do every day. A good thing of that would be like bedtime or homework time, if you want to actually schedule that. And actually, I'm going to show you what I would think would work for bedtime, but that is the middle tab. Again, you always are going to start off with choosing your child. Once you choose your child, then you're going to go to that middle tab and choose device rules. And then you have to create those rules. Okay. It'll be blank when you first start, but hit create device rules. Okay, and now I'm going to talk a little bit about this. There's 4 different types of rules, like what you may think. So we're not even really going to talk about those. In the future, we may have some setting changes that will allow those to work a little bit better. But right now, we really want to just focus on day and time and ad hoc device rules for you, because those work perfectly. And so I want to talk about what you can do with those. So let's talk about mostly, and they're basically pretty much the same thing. So go ahead and go on to the next screen for me, Brian. So I'm using the day and time to restrict the apps. Again, on that very first image that you see there, all the ones on the top, social media, communication, games, none of that is turned on. So you always are going to choose custom. So go to custom, and then you can select everything, or you can just select what you choose. But what I'm trying to set up here is bedtime for my child. At 9 o'clock, I don't want my child on this iPad anymore. Okay, I don't want them using it. I want them asleep. So I selected everything on the iPad. Then I went ahead, I chose Monday through Friday, because Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock, I want them off the iPad. Then I'm going to let the iPad come back on at 5 in the morning. Okay, so my device rule is going to turn everything off at 9 p.m. At 5 p.m., it'll come back on. Then on that last image that you see there, I went ahead. Our screen is a little bit blurry on these, so I apologize for that. But I typed in bedtime. And so then once you go ahead and save that, and save it, and then on our next screen, okay, so you'll see there now. So now I have a bedtime rule that is set up. I can go ahead. I can edit it if I want to. The red minus will let me delete that rule. The wrench will let me edit that rule. Let's say I decided 9:30 would be a better time. I can go in and change that. It doesn't start automatically there, and Brian's going to show you that in the demonstration. You have to hit that arrow that's to the right to start that rule up. But you can see one thing that you might do would be I don't, Brian, I forgot your slide. I'm so sorry. You'll just have to get on there and do it. I didn't put the show me slide in there. My apologies. But another one you might do, maybe you have a set time every night that you do homework, maybe from 5 to 7. That's homework time. And you want them on particular apps, or, you want to set some of those restrictions every night. So again, the device rules, that's something that once you turn it on, it's going to happen in the frequency that you tell it to. So that's the difference between just using allowed apps. That's instant. It's happening right now. Once it's over, it's over. Device rules, if you set that, it's going to happen every day. All right, Brian, if you want to go ahead and show them that on the device.
Okay, so we're basically going to go to the fake student. And we're going to go to device rules. We're going to create a bedtime, but I would say my bedtime is normally about 12, so I'm going to go to custom. Next, I'm going to give myself every app that I can possibly have on my iPad, because, I'd like to have everything until 12 o'clock at night. And since this would only be on Monday to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, because we want them to be able to do everything on Saturday and Sunday. The start time 7 a.m. Nah, we're gonna put that. We're gonna type 12 p.m. and then we're gonna give it 5 a.m. because I
It's
don't.
12 p.m.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I don't go to bed till 12, so I'm gonna limit myself. So it kicks me off and tells me to go to bed pretty much. Next, my bedtime. This would be anything that you want to list it as. It has a custom device rule. That's your custom device rule, which is all the apps, the time frames. Hit save. So now it's active. So from 12 p.m. to 5 a.m. every single day of Monday through Thursday, or Monday through Friday, it will take away all the apps, or it will give me all the apps until that time frame. And if you want to edit it, say you go back. Oh no, that's right. The gear is what starts. If you want to start it right now, the gear starts it right now. So you can actually go in and create custom. I guess.
Brian, pull the phone down just a little bit.
If
There
you
we go. Now I can see everything.
okay, so if you wanna create custom, this is basically the custom device rules. So this is where you would actually start it if you just wanted to start it. I don't seem to have the edit feature on this, or the remove. The remove is basically swipe to the left. So I must have to. Nope. I don't have the edit. So I guess the only way you can get rid of it is the stop active device rules.
There
Yes.
you go.
Yes. And I still don't see an
I
edit.
think it. I think it's still running, Brian. You probably have to stop it, like actually stop it, and then yes.
Yes.
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, edit. There we go. So now, yeah,
There we
you have
go.
to actually hit edit up here. So now I'm done. You have to actually hit edit at the top left. Then you choose it. You can go back through the settings. Like, say I don't want them to have camera.
But all these things are. Oh,
Go ahead. I think I lost her. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here and go back to the
nope.
slides.
I'm back. I think I'm back. There we go. Okay. I hope you guys can hear me. I can see the slide again, so I think I'm on. That's the thing, living out in the country. I do not have the high speed internet at home that I have in Hoke County schools. Okay, so this is the last function of JAMF parent that we want to talk about, and that is location. And the location screen does a couple of things. It's got some pretty fancy features to it. The biggest thing, though, I want to talk to you about today, because you can set up. This was the part we were talking about, that we don't have our devices quite configured to make them work correctly all the time. So I'm not even going to talk about those. I just want to talk about the pieces that are really going to work for you. And one of them is, you can see on right there, I can look, this is very important. I can see how much storage my child has, and my picture's a little bit grainy there, but those green bars that you're seeing, I can see, is the device charged, and I can see how much memory they have right there. I can see what kind of device they have and all of that. And then when you update device information, it will actually update what's going on with that device. But underneath that is probably the thing that is more valuable to you. And this particular one, when we took the screenshot earlier today, we didn't have the device on. But your child, what you will see on there is the map, and it's going to have, it's going to point to where that device is actually located. So you know what it's like, and if they happen to lay something down, or maybe you went out to a restaurant, or you went to grandma's or somewhere, and all of a sudden now they can't find their iPad. This is going to actually, as long as the device is on and it's online, you will be able to actually see where that device is. It's going to show a map. So that can be a very valuable tool for you. So Brian, if you want to show a live version of that, I'm sure it'll probably look a little bit better than what we have with my picture.
It's going to show the last location from basically the last IP address it got. You can actually, since this hasn't been set up, or history. Oh yeah, okay. So as we get the locations feature fixed and we have locations set up, um, and we have another one of these connects to where we can show you how to set up the locations. We haven't got that part yet, but this is the last known location where it was. I can say, but I don't believe that I can view where it was. Although we can, if we have to do a location service for you, we at the office can do that, because we can send out a ping and it'll ping it for us. This pings it to the last known location, so it's saying Fayetteville because it doesn't have my address, because my phone's location services is turned off right now. So
Yeah, remember at the beginning when I told you you had to enable all of those things? Brian didn't enable it, and that's why it's doing that. So make sure that you enable all of those so that everything will work properly. The one I had at the office today, when I was working with it, showed me exactly that device was in our warehouse. So as you work through it, and again, if you have any questions when you get using this, if you have any issues or problems, you can always contact us, and we'll be glad to walk you through any problems you may have with this app. Our next Parent Connect is actually getting ready to start in 9 minutes, but we have a minute or so for questions. I'm going to look here on my phone to see if my team if anything has been thrown in the chat. I don't see anything at the moment, but team, if y'all have anything in the chat, if you want to throw that on the phone for me, that would be great. We'll give it just a second while we're waiting to see if there's any questions. Brian, I think this would be a really valuable thing for our parents, don't you?
yes,
Okay, I see that. Oh, go ahead.
it's gonna allow them to get a little bit more involved with the iPad users.
I think so too, and just definitely being able to control what's going on at home. I mean, that is just so important. So anyway, we are really excited to get this out to all of our parents. So Shanna is telling me on our team that we are all good. We don't have any questions in the chat. Go ahead and go to the next slide for me, Brian. I would like to thank everybody for coming out tonight and listening. We are here for you. If you need any assistance with your technology or remote learning, please feel free to contact our team. We are glad. Now, and if you have older students that are Chromebook users, this was our iPad Family Connect, but if you actually are a Chromebook family, also please stay tuned for the next session that's going to start at 7 o'clock. Go ahead and go to the next one for me. All right, and here's how you can get a hold of us. Our phone number is listed there for you, and our email. Either one of those ways are great ways to contact us. Also, I put back there again at the bottom, there's that bit.ly. All you do is go to the web, bit.ly/ all caps, because it is case sensitive, HCS JAMF for JAMF. And if you will fill that out, if you need a parent account, I will be on top of that to get your accounts out to you as quickly as possible. If you're an Apple user, you're already set to go. All you got to do is go get that app. The JAMF student is already on their iPad, and you can get started tonight. So anyway, Brian and I thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next month at our next session, which I don't think we haven't quite nailed down the topic. We try to go with what we think the parents are needing at the time, but something will be coming out to you on social media across Connect Ed. So we look forward to seeing you again next month to talk more things about iPads and helping your kids with digital teaching and learning. Again, stay tuned, 7 o'clock, some more information for you coming. Have a great night.